Patience and perseverance. We are going to be talking about in this month's Faith Windows Kit, patient perseverance. Perseverance is a core theme in a Christian's life. And so we're going to dive deep into that. I'm glad you're with me. This is my newest kit, Faith Windows number 24. I decided to do this topic for this month because I feel like with all of the things that are going on in the world, we are just being bombarded, with all of the things that happened with Charlie Kirk and how that's just affected people. But people are standing up and speaking truth. And we're seeing more and more of where people's hearts really are with their negative comments. So I thought about, let's look at, what really is perseverance? What does God tell us about that, right? And so we're going to look at in this Bible study about how to remain steadfast to God and in your faith through every season of your life. We're going to look at 7 scriptures that are going to teach us about encouragement, hope, and then they're going to give us some guidance on what does perseverance look like, right? So my goal for this study is going to help you get anchored in your soul in God's promises, which means that you will finish your race very well. So let's look at this kit. Very, very excited about the color scheme and how I put everything together in this kit, and I hope you enjoy and like this. As always, there's always a few pages for the Bible study. Now in this one, I added a little bit more to my Bible study, a little bit more deep. I've given you the verse, then I've given you a short insight, then I've done a compare contrast, looking at comparing this Bible verse to the contrast of the New Thought movement, which is what we're dealing with in our Truth Tuesdays. And then I've given you an application question, which I've usually done. And then I've also included some creative ideas that you can do on how to deal with that verse in your journal. So that means there's 3 pages now to get through all 7 verses. And my kits, in case you don't know, if you're brand new to my channel, I give 7 verses. So that could be a week's Bible study. You could do 1 or 2 a day, be a few days. You could take one a week and, take as long as you want. You can do it with your friends, do it with your family. Then I've given you what is patient perseverance, okay? And what would it look like in your life if you're a Christian? And then why should we even study this? Given you that, and I've given it you in 2 ways. So if you want to just print this smaller and then fold it and stick it in your journal, you can. Then I've also given you like a card that you could just print out, okay? Always in my kits, you get 2 pages of the actual Bible verses. The first page is the ESV version. The second page is New King James Version, because a lot of people ask me for that. And then I've given you there's our logo for patient perseverance. We're going to look at some of the birds in this. This is a crane, and you're going to find out, because I tell you about that, why that's a symbol for perseverance. And then here are my collage pages. Whoops, why do I have 2 of those? I don't know. Okay, then there's this one and this one. The beauty of my pages is that they're already collaged. You don't really have to add a lot. There's the beautiful crane. Some more background pages, lots of pretty, pretty flowers. Now, I've just printed this on 24-pound copy paper. I did not use my matte photo paper because my designs are really soft and kind of muted, and that works well when you just want to print that on regular copy paper. So look how beautiful these are. And then I've included this because Janie, who is on my design team, has asked me for pages with lines. So I've given you the dots, which actually end up being a line, or the lined pages. Now, you can print these and print them back to back, okay? You can print these a couple times and use these if you want to do some journaling. Here's a really fun 2-part pocket. Now this I've printed on cardstock, plain cardstock, 65-pound cardstock. I've included some women that I generated with AI, I'll be honest with you. But I had some specific ideas because I think patient perseverance, as I've been doing this Bible study for this, is really about spending your time in prayer, being contemplative, being aware of what God's word says. And then, oh, this didn't print right. Sorry about that. I'll have to reprint this. There's our numbers. I give you a pretty number for each of the Bible verses. Here's some cards. Now, I'm talking to you about why I chose these colors, because when I looked up what colors represent perseverance, maroon and burgundy came up because it's a color that symbolizes controlled strength, resilience, and determined ambition. And then the crane was a symbol of resilience and longevity in many cultures because they can survive and adapt in extreme environments. So I thought I'd include that, right? And then I looked up perseverance, which is Strong's G 4342, and that is praying at all times in the Spirit. Now, do you understand why I made these women praying, right? Praying at all times in the Spirit with all prayer and supplication. Keep alert with all perseverance, making supplication for all the saints. That's Ephesians 6:18. So, and then I made some tall ones. I thought they would be fun to have some tall tags. And I've got scripture, notes, and remember. Then I always give you another page where the Bible verses are already printed, and these are printed on little ATC cards, which go right in. There's word strips. These are the lines from the 7 Bible verses. I've got a bunch of quotes in here that you can use. I've got a quote for every one, for 7 of them. Here's the definition of perseverance. There's the word search answer key. I gave that to you. Here's some really fun wordfetti, lots of tickets and fun things that you can insert. We've got tags, different sizes. And then I've got my Bible verse note cards. And you always get 8, okay? And then, as I said, I'm having fun with this word search. So I made one in 2 different sizes. There's the large size, and then there's the smaller size. And then here's some more fun pieces of ephemera. I also give you the horizontal pages, okay? So it's the same exact pages that we just saw. I've just rearranged them horizontally in case you want to make a journal where you're doing the pages like that, right? And there's the beautiful music page with our flowers. There's our crane. More beautiful pages and flowers. And I like to do halvesies on pages because that way you get just a little snippet of certain designs, which I think works out really fun. And there's that page, and then 2 horizontal, basically the same page, just printed differently. So that is patient perseverance. That's my introduction. Next, I will go and cut all of this out, and then we will begin to make our faith journal. I've got everything cut out and trimmed and ready to go. So all my pieces are there. Here's all my papers. And then I had to stop and think about what kind of a journal are we going to make for patient perseverance. And I thought about, I looked through all the journals that I've already made because obviously I don't sell mine and I don't give them away because I end up using them. As you can see, I made this video for this journal with my Gracious Green Kit back the end of May of this year. And so I keep them in a bin and I go through all the journals that I've made, go, oh, that was really fun, let's make that. I thought that the colors and the style would look really good as this type of a waterfall journal, but with an envelope closure. And I originally got this idea from Natasha at Treasure Books. And I will link this video of how to make this kit. This says my Gracious Green Kit and how to make this. But we're going to do it again. So I just want to walk you through real quick. I love this closure, so I went into my buttons. I don't have one that's this beautiful maroon, but I've got a green one, so we're going to use a green one on this one. So I've got that set apart. We will make a word dangle. These are Bible verse dangles, basically, is what we're going to do. So we're going to put that on there. And this is just so fun because, look, it's like an envelope thing, and I'm going to show you all the directions. You open it up, and then it's a reverse waterfall because I've made other waterfalls where I go from the short part is on the left. This one I started on the right. I don't know if I'll do that with this. We'll see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. There's only 4 pages in the waterfall, and that's all I really need. It includes an envelope, okay? Actually, it's not an envelope. It's just a piece of paper the way we folded it, and we're going to do that with those papers. And then, of course, I've used a piece of course, I go to tell you what it is. What is this paper? Concordance paper. I have an old concordance, and I love to use that because there's more of God's Word, okay? So I'm going to show you exactly how we do the waterfall. We're going to flip that over. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. This is another piece that I'm sure I got from Natasha. And I'll show you how we're going to fold that and make it. And then the way you put it in, you leave the pocket. Don't you just love my green girl? I loved her. She's like steampunk. And so there's places to do Bible journaling if you want. You can add more pockets and stuff like that, okay? So this was the gracious green, and I think it looks great. Let's get moving, and I will show you exactly what the dimensions that I'm going to make, which will work for this kit. So if you want to write them down, you can. First of all, get yourself there's some very lightweight manila folders that you can get at Dollar Tree, and that's okay if you have that. But I also bought myself one set of probably 20 at Amazon that are much heavier weight. They're way heavier weight, okay? That's what I'm starting with, because that way I can just put the paper on and then I've got a nice sturdy cover. And what I've decided to do, this one I made 9 inches high, and I thought, well, I'll make it slightly different. I never make it the exact same way twice. I'm gonna do 10 inches. So what I've marked from the very bottom is 10 inches all the way to the top, okay? So it's 10 inches. So that goes from there to there, okay? And then I want it 6 inches wide, and that's this back piece, right? It's that 6 inches wide, okay? So I did 6 inches. Now I'm starting and using the natural fold of the envelope right here, okay? And I drew a line so hopefully you can see it. So from that fold out 6 is where I put my first notch. Then you want to go back and find your center. So that'd be 3 inches. So there's the 3, and I came down all the way. And then I did this very center right here, because that's what you need to make sure that your points are on the right. What is this, geometry? I think, look, we're using geometry. Okay, so you have 10 tall, 6 wide, and then add 1/2 inch on both sides of that. And here's why. You can look at it. See how nice that gives? If the angle came all the way to the corner, I don't think it's sturdy enough, and so I added that 1/2 inch to come out that way. Now, because of the width of the manila folder, I can only do a 3-inch point on this side. So 3 inches from the 6th line, right? So you go out 1/2 inch, go out 1/2 inch. You already know where your middle is, and then you just do this. You just draw lines. That's all we're going to do. And the same thing over here. The difference that I made is I came out 3.5, which is what I did on this one also. And you'll see why. See how I have just a little bit that covers, and I wanted to do the exact same thing. So that's going to come out 3.5, okay? So this is 1/2 inch on the bottom off of the 6 by 10, right? Okay. Get to your 3 inches, get to your 5 inches, and now we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and I will be right back, and then we'll start covering it. When I was showing you the papers in the kit, I said, oh, I wonder why I have 2 of them. It just dawned on me. I didn't tell you why. It's going to be hard for you to perceive them probably on the camera. What I did was I printed this on 24-pound paper as just a regular super fast print. I printed the exact same paper on my matte photo paper because this is before I printed the whole kit. I wanted to see if there was a difference, and was it enough of a difference to use this more expensive paper. And so, to be honest, if you look really close, it's so close that I decided to just use regular 24-pound paper. There's a little bit more clarity, but again, this is what I try to teach you about choosing the weight of paper and type of paper that you use. This is a very soft kind of pattern. It's not real striking, and it's not bold. It's not a high contrast, okay? And so because of that, that's when I tend to go towards the 24-pound paper. This would be fine if that's the only paper that you had. It just ends up costing more money. So I just wanted to show you that I ended up printing the rest of the kit on the 24-pound paper, okay? So let's go over here, and I'm looking, I was trying to figure out what to do on the front, and then all of a sudden I said, let me do the back first. And I love that we have the cranes on here, and you're gonna end up learning about why I have cranes in this kit. So I'm thinking that would be a beautiful background. I was thinking about putting it like this, but then look what happens. We cut off his head. That would not look good. So let's put 2 of them on there, okay? Now I am a glue and then trim person. So you'll see how I do this. I put all my glue down, lay my papers down, and trim them up, and we're ready to go, okay? And it's gonna be a very interesting day because I just picked up my glasses, and I have avoided getting prescription glasses for like 5 years. The reason I avoided it is because I had I grew up totally nearsighted, so I always had to wear glasses to see anything far away, right? Because nearsighted means you see up close, but you don't see far away. So I wore glasses, and then when I was a teenager, contact lens became popular, and you could get them. So I wore contact lens, but they were only hard lens. I have an astigmatism. Some of you may know what that is. That's actually an issue with the curvature of your eye. And so what happened was my astigmatism would kind of hold the hard lens in place, which that part was fine, but I have very dry eyes. I have very dry skin. I've had dry skin, dry eyes my entire life. Anyway, so I had dry eyes, I have hard lens, and I scratched my cornea quite a few times when I was a teenager because I didn't want to take them out. Because, you probably didn't need to know any of this, but maybe you'll identify. Because if I took my contact lens out, like a couple hours before I went to bed, here's what would happen. Because I had an astigmatism and I was wearing hard lens, my eye, take the contact lens out, and I couldn't see anything. It was weird. I was kind of like blind for a few hours until the surface on my eye must have smoothed out or something like that. So, I wore hard lenses for years and had to be really careful, constantly putting drops in my eyes and all that kind of stuff. Then soft lens came out. So then I went to the soft lens, and that was much better for me. I could actually take them out, but they didn't dry my eyes as much, so that part was good. And then, of course, as I got older, probably not till my late 40s did I start not seeing well. And, of course, turned out I had cataracts. Well, they started probably in my 50s, but I had to wait till my 60s till they would operate on me. So, I've been here 12 years, like 6 or 7 years ago, they finally were in the place where they would operate, and you get a new lens put in your eye is what's happening. Okay, I need to stop talking for a second so I can figure out what I'm doing here. Anyway, so I got my cataract surgery, and it was wonderful because for the first time in my entire life, I didn't need glasses to see everything out there, but I couldn't see anything up here. So then I had to go to granny glasses. So long story short, I just had my eyes examined the other day, and I said to the doctor, okay, I'm really tired of this because I have a pair of computer glasses, and if you watch the Truth Tuesdays, you see my face, and I have on clear glasses, and those are only, they're called computer glasses because they only correct the distance from my entire arm. Okay, so beyond where I pulled my hand out like that, I can't see anything. So they only work in this distance. And then I still need to be magnified to see up close. So I said, maybe I'll just get one pair of glasses that would do both of those, because I'm always flipping these glasses on and off and it drives me crazy. So I just picked them up today. And now here's what I'm realizing. Oh my gosh. Okay. He gave me some correction for my stigmatism, which I haven't had for like 8 years. So I'm kind of like, I feel like this is bent. It's not, but this is how I'm seeing it. So if I'm acting weird or I slow down, it's because I have to go, wait, which part of these glasses am I supposed to look through? Anyway, that's my story. It's crazy. I love this. I really want to put this. I really want this on the cover. Let's see, where are we going to get cut? Well, actually, most of the flower will be in, so that would be kind of cool, right? Most of this will be in there. If I move it down just a tad, then there's the point for that. Okay, that works. And then we'll put the other piece that should, yeah, that'll work. Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna open this up. So that's my saga. I had to get glasses. And literally, as I'm moving my head, I kind of go, ooh. Okay, this is going to be quite interesting. Anyway, my cover is all covered. That sounds funny, doesn't it? Look how pretty it came out. I'm really glad I picked those two pieces because there's a big circle there and it kind of draws your eye in there. And then that's what I did on the insides, and then you saw the outside. So I also went ahead and made my closure, and I'm going to give you a gentle reminder because I just had to redo it. So when you do this type of button closure, what you want to do, see how nice it fits on there? Okay. The first thing that you want to do is you want your bend, okay, you want their two parts to come out the front. I had it coming out the back and I had to redo the entire thing, okay? So they're going to come out the front, you're going to knot them together, and then you're going to put on whatever beads that you want, okay? So that's the trick, and see I'm doing it wrong, there we go. So that's the trick to making that button closure, and I think that works, you know, like really well. I'm excited about that. Now, over here, I had made that dangle. So let's quickly make a dangle, and then I'm gonna end this video, and I will do the next video. We're gonna be making the waterfall inside. So what I did is I went into my parts, and I picked one of the Bible verse note cards that I give you. There's always an extra one. Anyway, there's 8. You really only need 7. And then I picked out perseverance because that's the name of what we're going to do. So what you want to do is you want to fold it. I'm going to fold it because I didn't print on the back, right? Because you want it to have a front and a back. You don't want it just to be white. Well, I guess you could have it white. I don't want it that way. And let's move that. And then I'll trim that piece, and then this will be our dangle. See how nice that's going to look on there? And we're going to glue it together. So go ahead and put the glue on it. We're going to glue it together. Did I cut straight? No, of course not. There we go. Okay, I did cut this out, but let's edge it just a tad. Okay, we'll glue that on. So you need a bulb pin and you need an eyelet to make this. So we're going to put that on there. I'm going to put it down a little bit, and I want that space at the top because that's where we're going to put our eyelet. And the other thing that I want to do is I want to trim the corners so that it looks more like a tag, right, like that. Okay, so let's edge this. Now I could actually put another word on the back. I just thought of that. Let's punch our hole. We're going to punch our hole in the top. Okie doke. And then we're gonna put our, and I'm using a small eyelet in it. You don't need a really large one at all. Let's go ahead and set that. There we go. And we are all set with that. And we've got the bulb pin. Okay, let's see, here we go. So we've got that like that. And then all I did on this was I just put it on the stretch, which works perfectly fine. So there we go. So we've got our perseverance on there. We've got our Bible verse, dangle. See how nice that looks? So next up, as I said, we will start building and adding our waterfall, and we'll do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch in there, and we're going to make that extra piece that we saw in this one. So this is our template, and I will see you next time. Please like this video. Please share this video. I hope that you're subscribed to my channel. Every month I do one Faith Windows new kit. So this is for October. And November, I won't be doing one because I'm going to be working on a special Thanksgiving project with Debbie from Pouring My Art Out for the Lord for our Facebook group. And so I hope that you are in my Facebook group, Rooted in Christ Creative Community. If you are a Christian and you would like to hang out and have fellowship with other creative Christians, that's the group to be. You can see it right on the screen. Till next time.